And this is that precious moment on our Sunday morning when we do let go and open ourselves to Spirit and our time of prayer and meditation. So settle into your chair and get comfortable. Let your chair support you and remind you just how solidly you are supported in this world. Take a long, deep breath, drawing oxygen all the way down to your abdomen, and then hold it for a moment before releasing it completely. And another long, deep breath, bringing all your awareness to the process of breathing. So you hold it and then release. And once again, breathe in. Hold that breath for a moment and exhale, letting go of all cares and concerns, letting go of all thoughts of busyness, letting go to connect with the innate divinity that is at the core of your being. Do you sense it? Do you feel it? Do you find that place within you where you know that you know oneness with the Creator? Be aware of that connection, wherever it is in your being, however you experience it. Relax into that connection. For there is nothing to do in this moment but to bask in the presence of the divine, in the silence. Allowing that divine presence to fill me up and wash over me. I am at peace. From that divine presence flow easily and effortlessly the insights and the guidance I desire. Centered in that powerful and empowering oneness, I know all is well. Thank you. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for enlivening in me these truths that bless me in the coming hours, the coming days, the coming weeks. All is well, and I am grateful. And so it is.
song I wrote some time back. The older you get, the less you remember how long ago it was. It's sort of about opening, releasing, surrender. Every time I sing it, though, it has a different meaning. Oh, it comforts. It's called The Garden. How do I find joy? How do I find the opening? How do I find love? How do I find the opening to my heart? How do I find truth? How do I find the opening? How do I find surrender? How do I find the opening to my heart? Come to the garden. There's plenty room here inside. Come to the garden. Here you'll find rest and light. Warm, sweet light, opening heart. Warm, sweet light, opening your heart. Opening your heart. Opening, opening, opening your heart to joy, to love, to truth, surrender.
Therese, that was elegant. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Did you hear everything she sang? Do it.
Oh.
Every lesson. Okay, we'll dig into it a little bit more. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are in the process of exploring what Charles Fillmore, Unity co-founder, called the 12 powers of man. He tells us that these 12 powers of faith, strength, judgment or discernment, love, power, imagination, understanding, will, order, zeal, and life are our divine heritage. If you can't remember all of those, just go into the 12 powers room. They're all stenciled across just below the ceiling. Fillmore tells us, within you, there is a new world awaiting discovery. A world in which you have capabilities of unlimited strength, perfect knowing, radiant life, and more beyond your present capacity to conceive. We are powerful, and we forget that, don't we, as we live in this world from day to day. Now, our job as spiritual beings having a human experience as we walk this earth is to awaken these divine powers within us, to encourage them, to develop them as we're guided by Spirit, and to get about the business of becoming more, becoming what Yeshua and other spiritual masters demonstrated in their lives, and also told us we too could be. So what on earth are we supposed to do with these 12 powers? Well, the prerequisite is that you know what they are. You have to have some idea what the 12 powers are and what they might entail, what they communicate to you. We have to know them from an intellectual understanding basis. From there, we can put them to work in our lives. We can use them as affirmations daily to develop selective powers, focusing on the power or powers that we think we're going to need in the day before us. You can use powers to prepare for the day. You know, think about what's on your plate in the next couple days and think what powers might be especially useful to me as I live through what's before me. And then affirm that power in your life and affairs. You may want to sit down and read about it again, refresh your memory, meditate on it, and then ask Spirit to guide you in using it. Maybe you're anticipating a meeting that you're not really looking forward to, or an encounter that you just as soon get out of the way. You might want to consider meditating on and affirming the powers of understanding and wisdom. Maybe there's a challenge looming before you. You're not quite sure how to address it. You might want to tap into the power of imagination to draw out some creative ways to address the concern. Maybe you're doubting your ability to achieve a goal that you've set before you. And that's when the power of faith can be very useful. Maybe you're stumbling along, having trouble following through on something you committed to do. Then you might want to focus on the power of strength, which entails not only strength, but perseverance. These 12 powers can be very useful to you day by day if you're familiar with them, if you meditate on them, and if you consider how does that power help me today in my life and in my world. We are exploring today the power of elimination. Elimination is all about getting rid of what you don't want in your life. Anything that blocks your good. Anything that keeps you from expressing and being the glorious expression that you were created to be calls for the power of elimination. And there are a couple of facets of that we're going to explore. The first facet is denial. Listen to this. Thoughts are things. They occupy space in the mental field. A healthy mind is attained and maintained when the thinker willingly lets go of old thoughts and takes on new. Denial is the ability to let go of old, worn-out, negative, limiting thoughts and beliefs and feelings. It's also the ability to refuse or reject what you feel does not serve you in your life. We engage denial in a very specific way at New Year's. We do a burning bowl process. We identify what it is we want to release in our life. We deny that what we're releasing has any power over us anymore. It's a very empowering ritual that you can actually use any time. You don't have to wait for New Year's. The process of denial is actually pretty simple. It's simply stating to yourself, I give no power to limiting thoughts and ideas. Now that's a general denial. Maybe there's something going on in your life where you can get more specific. Go ahead and do that. But the bottom line is we simply want to note what limiting thought and belief is holding us back and say, I don't give you power over me. That doesn't mean we bury our head in the sand and pretend everything's hunky-dory. We still have to deal with it. We still have to get through life and do what we need to do. But now, having denied the power of that problem over us, now we're free to deal with it from an empowered perspective. Why? Because thoughts are things. And we have now changed our mind from a mindset of that problem is more than I can handle to I deny its power over me. As we say no to limiting ideas, we inherently are empowered and we are inherently saying yes to what we truly desire in our life. And we continue the process of denials following with a process of affirmation. Simply stating in a positive, present tense way what it is that we are creating in our life now. We'll be exploring that further down the road. Right now we're focused on denial, saying no to what might appear to have power over us so that we are free of that power and free to move forward. In my mind, one of the most powerful forms of elimination is forgiveness. When we are in a state of anger and angst over something that's happened or somebody's done something to us that we aren't happy about, we're giving a lot of our power to someone else or to that situation. The way to free ourselves from them is through forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't say I'm letting you off the hook. Forgiveness doesn't say what you did is okay because it maybe is not okay. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. Forgiveness is about setting you free from all thoughts of anger, retribution, blame, setting you free to grow and move beyond that challenge. In her book, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity, Edwene Gaines describes 4 laws, and she recognizes forgiveness as being so profoundly powerful and life-changing. It is one of the 4 laws that she considers prominent on our spiritual journey. She reminds us negative thoughts, feelings, words, and behaviors affect our mental and physical health, our success, and our self-worth. An unwillingness to forgive is like stabbing ourselves with a knife and expecting the person who did wrong to feel the pain.
Yeah.
That moment where you're commiserating about someone that done you wrong, working up a big head of steam about how they hurt you and how unfair it was and how inappropriate it was. And you feel all of that tension and tightness in you, and you know what? They don't. You are getting it. You're doing it to yourself. If we refuse to forgive, we're actually clinging to self-defeating thoughts and behaviors. All that guilt, shame, blame, and resentment block the flow of good that the universe has for you. Is that what you want for yourself? To block your good? To stall yourself out in your earthly journey as well as your spiritual journey? So how do you know if you have forgiveness work to do? Now here's a couple points for your checklist. If months, days, or even years later, you get upset all over again, every time you think of that person or incident, you might have some forgiveness work to do. If you blame others because things aren't going well in your life, you might have some forgiveness work to do. If you think others have done it to you, if you're the victim, you might have some forgiveness work to do. If you're down on yourself for not being better or enough, you might have forgiveness work to do. Forgiveness is a powerful act of elimination. It's a mental bath, if you will. It lets go of what can only poison us from within. Think of it as emotional house cleaning. It clears out mental and emotional blocks and is an extremely effective form of denial and elimination. So how do you forgive? Choose to. It's that simple. Choose to let go. Let go of your thoughts of anger, rage, resentment, retribution. Just let it go. And then ask Spirit, ask your higher power to do the work of forgiveness through you and let go. And I was studying the 12 powers these last couple of weeks. I stumbled across something I hadn't noticed before in some of Charles Fillmore's teachings. He talks about mental laxatives. Mental laxatives. Well, what is a laxative? Let's think this through. A laxative in our physical life is a food or a product that clears our system of toxic residue. It's waste to our bodies that can, if we don't get rid of it, it can cause all kinds of illness and even death. Mental laxatives clear our minds of toxic waste. Waste and thinking that is toxic to our full, successful spiritual life. If our minds are congested, if we have mental constipation with toxic thoughts, those toxic thoughts play out in our health and in our life. I want you to hear this again. Thoughts are things. They occupy space in our mental field. And a healthy mind is attained and maintained when the thinker willingly lets go of old thoughts and takes on the new. Fillmore tells us we need mental laxatives to clear out toxic thinking. Denial is the beginning of that process, denying that anyone or anything has power over you. Doing our forgiveness work helps clear the path for clearer thinking. And he goes on to tell us mental laxatives to apply are praise, and thanksgiving. They clear our mind of issues and challenges. They clear our mind of disappointments, the might have beens, the coulda, woulda, shouldas. They clear our mind of all the clutter that we throw in there day in and day out, our congested thoughts. And like forgiveness, all we have to do is choose. In forgiveness, we choose to forgive, to let go. And employing mental laxatives, we choose to focus our attention on praise and thanksgiving. Every time we say no to those facets of life that are hurting us, we are actually saying yes to what we really want in life. And that's the bottom line of what elimination is about. We want to eliminate anything and everything that is blocking our good, so that our good can flow to us more easily. Elimination is about saying no to anything and all things that are blocking your good. It's about saying no to whatever is preventing you from being the very best and highest expression of that Christ presence that you can possibly be. You know, an artist, when they approach a canvas to paint their masterpiece, the first thing they do is make sure that that canvas is clean and clear. They don't want old pictures bleeding through the new piece. They don't want to be painting over dirt and smudges and grease and oil. They want a clean canvas to start with. You and I are artists. We are here to create the masterpiece of our life. And to do that as artists, we need to make sure the canvas is clear and clean. We do that by denying, by eliminating, by forgiving. We clear the path before us so that we can create our masterpiece. Elimination is really pretty simple, although actually doing it does take concerted effort. Ask Spirit's help every step of the way. Deny that anything and anyone have power over you. Forgive whatever and whomever Spirit brings to your awareness. Forgive yourself for any errors, mistakes, failures, and engage mental laxatives. Focus on praise and thanksgiving, for there is so much in life worthy of praise and thanksgiving. Release what you don't want in your life to make room for what you do. Say no to what you don't want, and know that you are innately saying yes to more good, more richness, more blessing, more joy, more fulfillment, and more success. Let's know and practice the power of elimination as we revisit our affirmation together. Using my power of elimination, I renounce and release anything unlike my true Christ nature. Cleansed and purified, my whole being expands with renewed life. And so it is.